What's up, everyone, and welcome to this week's episode of the Pit Therapy Podcast with me, Trevor, and Kyle, and Josh Latshaw. Boysetsfire.
Hey.
We are super excited, and the very first thing that Kyle said to me yesterday was, "I'm worried I'm just gonna fanboy the whole time," and so I'm just gonna call him out, like up front. We're just gonna get it out of the way.
I have actually a very funny story. So I moved out. I grew up in Newark, and recently we moved up to Wilmington and bought a house, right? And we're in the hood, like legit in the hood in the city. And I'm outside, and a cop rolls up, honks his horn, rolls down his window, and goes, "Boysetsfire!" And I was like, "What the fuck is happening?" He's like, "I am the biggest fan. I've been to all your shows." Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, he's like, "Please don't write a song about me."
Like, don't be a cop.
Yeah, like, it was very funny. It was hilarious, dude.
I was like, holy cow. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible.
It's really funny. The word, like, but Delaware is small, you know, like, like Delaware is a small place. Everybody knows each other. So, but it was a little shocking. I was like, I'm in inner city Wilmington, and the cop recognized me. Yeah. So, and of course, all the guys in the neighborhood were like, "He's hanging out with a cop," and I'm like,
Listen, I mean,
what am I gonna do?
He introduced himself to me. I didn't do this. Like,
he's my fan.
Oh, awesome! But so After the Eulogy came out when we were like 9 years old.
Okay.
Like, so that's where we're at. We're actually close to your son's age. I think that you mentioned like it was just his birthday, right?
He's like 31.
Okay, yeah. So we're a couple years older than him. But
yeah.
Right in there. And I was introduced to you through Kyle because his older brother got us into it.
I was the older brother.
There we go.
Yeah, man.
There we go. But yeah, I made fun of Kyle because I said, we'll just get the fangirl stuff out of the way up front. Make a light heart of it.
I always tell people there's like 3 bands that I feel like changed me as a child, and like AFI,
beautiful,
Thrice, and then Boysetsfire. Like,
hey, that is nice company, dude.
It is great really company.
Nice. And you know what? The fanboying thing's funny because we call it punishing, right? And I have punished many a band. I remember annoying the hell out of Matt Skiba one night. And you could tell because he was like looking away, you know what I mean? Like, and I was just like, so I mean, we all do it, you know. It's just great when you do meet people and they aren't assholes too, right? You know, like you said, AFI are sweethearts and Thrice are sweethearts. I don't know if you've met those guys or not, but like Dustin's amazing. He was like, I think a youth pastor too. Like he's got a really sweet heart. You know what I mean? So
dude,
that is. Awesome.
We've done this pod like a couple years now, and like it is true that, you know, people are generally like pretty just cool and down to earth. Like if you're a normal person, like they'll be normal to you.
100%.
And have a conversation.
And I think I like to think it's our scene and like our culture, so to speak. You know what I mean? Because like I can't really even think top of my head like people I've met are assholes. Even people that I assume are assholes, like they aren't. You know, like, and I like to think it is like our scene and our culture that doesn't really allow for that. You know, we don't have rock stars.
Doesn't that feel a little bit ironic though, given that we will go and we will open a circle and just punch each other and swing fists at each other? Like,
you guys have brothers?
Kyle does.
Okay, so you have a rough house. I mean, that's how boys hug too, right? Yeah. You know, like that's just. But it is funny that something that looks so violent to the outside world is actually so fucking beautiful, you know, when you're all in that magical moment and everyone's singing along and just like, it's, you know, to me, it's spiritual, like it elevates everything. So, and maybe people looking in don't understand that, but if you're part of it, you know, it is truly, it's life-changing, you know?
Yeah. There's no way to explain it to an outside person. Like you have to experience it firsthand and you have to understand what you're experiencing. Like Kyle's taken a few people with him who have said that exact thing. I didn't get it until I came.
Yeah, you have to. And it has to be live. Like,
yes.
You know what I mean? And also like, Yeah, there's an energy, or there's a spiritual energy, and it's not like going, and no offense to these unnecessary, it's not like going to see Korn. You know what I mean? In my view, probably a Korn guy would be like, it's exactly like that. But to me, it's like there's always a difference between concerts and shows.
Yeah.
Right. So I like to think we do shows, although we have definitely played concerts.
Yeah, and I mean, if you can't do it, but like I was explaining to like some coworkers that like you can get the mic and you can sing along, and I'm like, do you know how like empowering that feels as a fan, that like it's not me and them, it's us.
Right. And I mean, it's always been about breaking down, I don't know what is the fourth wall or whatever. It's like we've never been about like performance and audience, you know what I mean? It's always been, like people singing along, people taking the mic. Like we love when, people like sing an entire song, and we always have people come out and do like After the Eulogy. Like, we actually one time, you guys know the thrash band Creator?
Yeah.
Okay, the German band Creator. We're in the guy where me and these from, and the singer for Creator did After the Eulogy with us.
Oh, that's sick.
Awesome.
So it was really awesome.
That's sick.
Well, and I think kind of to tie it back to you guys in Boysetsfire, there's probably a lot more weight and power into what you guys are singing about when it is this inclusive moment with everyone, right? Like you're up there singing about angry things, hard things, political things, very real things, but to have the whole crowd want to get the mic and sing it with you is a very empowering moment for the message you're sharing,
For sure. And you can't really, it's so, I don't even know what the word is, but you can't force it, like it's there or it's not there. And fortunately with us, it was usually there, and it's just like, it's just a very special thing that I was so, so proud and happy to be a part of for 30 fucking years.
Isn't that wild?
Yes,
that is wild.
I don't feel 53. It's hilarious. I don't feel like an adult, like I'm still like, when do I become an adult? My kids are adults, but like I'm still like, when do I, have it all figured out?
I'm flipping through Instagram. I'm seeing you sing with your son on the mic. Like, it's awesome. Like, full circle moment for you right there.
Super fun.
That's incredible.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
So, one thing that I wanted to ask about, because we just saw a lot of the stuff coming out about the 25 years of After the Eulogy, right? And you're kind of talking about being in your 50s and stuff now. And when you like wrote this album, or when you started this band, like did you have any clue? Like, did you guys write stuff and you're like, look, this is good, like we know we got something here? Or were you just like,
bro, all right, so like, that record, After the Eulogy, when we wrote After the Eulogy, we played it 15 times in a row. We were like, we would all have goosebumps the entire, like we would, back in those days, we would play songs before they were out. You know what I mean?
Awesome.
Like it wasn't like we became later as a band where you did the cycle and wrote and then blah. We would just be like, we have a new song we want to play for you. And people were going crazy for that song and Rookie, like we just out of their minds immediately, and actually like kind of singing along when they don't really know the words, but like I'm gonna sound egotistical. We really felt like we had like caught magic, lightning in a bottle, or whatever you call it. You know what I mean? Like it felt amazing. I remember this like writing it, because like I came up with the dun, 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 that riff, and like I was like, that's so cool. I think it came to me in a dream or something, and then I showed it to the guys immediately, and then the end, one of the other guys had the end, which is kind of a little tricky, and like I don't know, it just felt it was so fun and so rad.
That's not egotistical at all, because it's 25 years later and we're still like, we're still cranking this album all the time. So
yeah, dude. Well, I remember when we recorded it, and we went to, all right, so we got onto Victory somehow. Still laugh at that record was originally on Victory Records. It is so funny. And I remember the first week it came out, like Tony Victory left a voicemail saying it did like whatever X amount in the first week. He was so excited. Like we like literally couldn't believe it. Like it was not happening. Like we weren't huge, but like it was happening. You know what I mean? But I mean, when we started, I remember it was me, Chad, and now Natasha on the back deck of my now wife, her parents' house. We're like, we need to start a band, but like at that point in the Delaware scene, like you pretty much just play Delaware. Like that was the end all be all. Like you would play, you know, and it had like 150 kids or whatever. But I was like, look, everyone does that. I want to tour. I want to say something and I want to tour. That's what I want to do. And they were all into it. And we just started, man, in a van, like bumming money to get food, like, you know, like sleeping on the floor, like for real, like, and also like having such incredible adventures that really you, like, as we got bigger and like had to do sound checks and press, kind of lost that. But the early days of just like being in a van and like exploring a city or like going on rips, and it was just incredible.
That's awesome. So you started, you, Chad, and Nat were 94. Were you guys just like friends in high school, or like how did you guys get introduced to each other?
So Nat and I, our parents were besties. We grew up together. And they moved to Florida, and then they came back, and then we started playing together. And Chad and Nat were friends in high school, and introduced us, and we just started playing together. And actually, Chad married my wife's sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are like deep family rooted. This point.
I'm going to see Slayer on Sunday with Chad. So I mean,
that's awesome.
I just saw him at a family holiday. You know, like I see Chad all the time.
Is that weird? Is that weird having created this incredible thing? I'm sure living in a van together for at this point, literal years.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sure it wasn't easy, right?
No, in fact, like we would go on a 7-week European tour in a Sprinter, then be like, come home and then have dinner at the fan. Like,
you're like, I hate you. Like, go away.
I literally said goodbye to you this morning. But yeah, I mean, we've had some epic brawls too, man. Like just fights. But it's all good. That's what you do, right? Brothers fight.
That's awesome. That's
awesome. One question that I had, like thinking about your early stuff.
Yeah.
Like you guys are obviously ingrained in the hardcore scene, you know.
Yeah.
What made you want to kind of stay in the post-hardcore realm, like going forward in Boysetsfire? Like, because it was
before you answer that, can I ask you really fast? In the 90s, early 2000s, what genre did you consider yourself? Did you guys just say we're a hardcore band, like if someone asked, or did you say we are post-hardcore?
So we're east. So all right. So how we grew up and how I grew up is very DC, but also very New York hardcore. So like the DC, like emo, like we might have even been claiming emo in '94. You know what I mean? Like with Rites of Spring and like Policy of like just really, really like I think it's called first wave of emo.
Yeah.
That's like when anyone's like, oh, I love emo. I love Panic at the Disco. Like
you're like no.
Come on, dude. You know, like I doubt Panic would say that, you know, like
right.
But yeah, I think we would just say we're and maybe post-hardcore because we love like Quicksand. But yeah, we probably just say we're, you know, but I also love punk rock too. So maybe I think just hardcore, just emo hardcore. But also we said we're gonna do whatever we want. You know, we're not gonna not do 100%. It. Because there's that, I can never remember the name of the song, but there's that one song about the little town in Iowa or whatever. You know, that is like, we're like, fuck it, let's just do it, dude. It doesn't like, Chad had this like acoustic song and we're like, yeah, we'll do it. I don't care. You know? Also, because Nat can sing and scream. Because so I remember in the basement, or actually we were practicing at Chad's parents then, I was like, why don't you sing some and scream some? And they're like, really? So that's the battle. Was it great or Boysetsfire who started screaming and singing? We say Boysetsfire. Kyle says great. Just throwing it out there. I think it's us.
I mean, the fact that you're one of the first two, right? And established at this point what 90% of the subgenre does is incredible.
Yeah, but if you remember, I mean, maybe you guys weren't alive then, I guess, but it wasn't always like that.
Right.
It wasn't like that. So, that's because guys like Nat can sing and scream. Why are we choosing one and the other?
That's insane.
That's the right way to look at it. I think my question more came from like people being in the hardcore scene. Like nowadays, it's like a lot of times like a dick measuring contest of who's the heaviest band. Like, was it maybe in the 90s and stuff? It was not as much like that because I guess music wasn't as heavy as it is today.
Well, we didn't have as good as equipment as they have. I'm trying to. I mean, we would play with anyone. Like we would play. I remember one of the funnest shows we ever did back in the early days was like a straight up death metal show in Florida. And if you know Florida death metal, it's extremely serious.
Yeah.
And it was super fun. And they were like, we think you guys are good. They were like real nice about it. And we were like, we're not going to change what we do. We're not going to play only heavy stuff. We did the weenie stuff too. So, but we always were like, let's just be ourselves. Let the chips fall where they may,
That's incredible.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. So as you guys are developing, you mentioned one of the things you wanted to do, you wanted to tour and you wanted to have a message. Was it always a political message or like how did you decide that
it was always a political message? But I mean, we also had the personal perspective that the personal is political, right? Correct. Or the politics are personal. So like what happens up here affects us down here, so to speak. So we really wrote things. So we would never shy from like very intense personal things, like we weren't always discussing Chomsky necessarily, you know what I'm saying? But we really liked the blend, we really like to be very like, is holistic the right word? Like, so like we would definitely speak about politics, but we also would talk about heartbreak, or losing friends. So, but like I said, I really wanted to have something to say because there was also in our little scene, it was very cool to not have anything to say, to just be like, about politics. So like, well, we actually do. So, and actually people got more in trouble for that kind of stuff than any music we were doing. Like stop fucking preaching. We'd hear a lot, stuff like that. And we did preach quite a bit. I'm not going to lie. Because our bass player at that point would be like, to hop on what Nat says, I believe, so I was like, all right, guys. So we watched a tape. We're like, this is fucking ridiculous. We gotta figure this out. Like, it's good, but this is silly. Like, we talked for 20 minutes. Like,
having debates of the mind during a hardcore show.
Yeah. Prove me wrong.
No, that's awesome. One of the things that we talk about, and we feel like is a little bit lost at this point at a lot of shows and stuff, is you don't see a lot of like tables with flyers, pamphlets. You don't see zines as often and stuff like that.
No.
It's starting to make a comeback. Like physical media, it's all starting to come back around, which is incredible.
Sure. Yep.
But it got lost for a long time. And so where you were saying like, we were up on there preaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sure, at times it maybe got a little bit too preachy at shows and stuff.
Yeah.
But when it's gone, you're like, man, I really wish a band had something to say every now and again.
No, in fact, we did a run, like I guess a year ago for our 30th, and we brought back groups and invited them to table with us. We're like, we really like that. Like people come in, you got a sticker and a brochure, and like, but I think right now we're in a really interesting time, politically, but also people are like, I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I mean, I'll be honest, I don't know what the fuck to do, so it's good just to be like, hey, this is something you can do. Or you don't like it, that's fine. If you like it, great. But
at least educate yourself on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we talk a lot about, growing up in Salt Lake City, how, we owe a lot of like our openness, mindfulness, openness to getting involved in the scene and being exposed to those kind of things. Like that was a very healthy thing for us. And so, I appreciate that there are bands that are starting to bring back that message because
fantastic.
Being in Texas, like these kids are not going to hear it anywhere else.
No, it's very true. It's very true. Now, was Salt Lake pretty conservative?
Yeah.
Growing up?
I mean, just slightly. Yeah, no, we are a very, very conservative state, and the upbringing, especially where we grew up, it's a very, very conservative nature. So like a lot of like us learning about openness and being introduced to different activisms and things along those lines actually had to come through the music scene, and we actually had to research a lot of it. So no, it was a huge impact for us.
Yeah, do you think that was like now music and everything is so accessible? Like when I was a kid, and I guess when you were a kid, you really had to look for it and you had to be introduced. Do you think it's better now, or do you think it was better then? It almost seems like back then it was more holy. You know what I'm saying? Like almost more sacred.
You were in the club. You were definitely in the club. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, like, and that's one thing that we do talk about here on the podcast as well, is especially with like TikTok and stuff like that. Hardcore is TikTokable. Like seeing someone go get kicked in the face. There's some people who want to go and do a spin kick in the pit, and you start to like see that stuff.
Right.
But there's also the people who come and they understand what they're seeing. Yeah. And there's the people who are coming to make a social media clip. And those people are going to phase out. They're going to weed out. And the people who are left are the ones who appreciate and understand it. I mean, sure, like the hardcore, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's where that term came from, right? Because there was punk rock, and then it kind of died out, and all that was left was the hardcore.
That's true.
Yeah.
I think that like it's easier for kids to get involved. I think back then, you know, if you were going to be in it, like you said, you really had to search for it, but you also had to understand wholly what you were getting into. Like we share stories about going to shows younger, and the old guys there were way rougher than we were. Right. And it's like,
I had to learn. My first shows, I got my ass kicked by 3 skinheads.
Yeah. Like you learned the ruls, right? Like you were there, you experienced it, you learned the rules, like and
they were terrifying. Like I was probably 14 or 15, started going to shows, and I would go to Trenton City Gardens, and I remember seeing the Circle Jerks and being like, it was like my first show. I was like, what the hell is happening? It was terrifying. I'm not saying that was the good old days, but it was the truth. It was fucking scary as shit. Yeah. You know, like I may die. These guys are terrifying. You know? So
there was no cell phones back then too, so no witnesses were coming forward.
Nobody was filming anything.
That's definitely something that's changed over time for sure.
Yeah, that's for sure. Yeah.
100%. So what was it like though in Delaware? I mean, you mentioned a little bit about like the Delaware scene, 150 kids or whatever, but like was there like, I don't know, like competition, or did you guys have like this idea of like, well, I don't want to be New York, I don't want to be DC, I don't want to be these places? Like we talked to Jay Ost from the band With Honor, and they're from Connecticut, and it's like these little small pockets, but still have their own identity and scene. Yeah. Was Delaware like that?
Absolutely. So Delaware, we were definitely, we're not DC, we're not Philly, we're not New York, we're Delaware, and basically it's a sound that kind of came out of Delaware at that point was like Quicksand mixed with Sam I Am mixed with Helmet, you know, like it. And that's kind of describes early Boysetsfire in my head, you know?
Okay.
So we like, we're like, there's not much of a scene here. Why don't we start one? So we actually started throwing shows, and we got together a little collective, and we would get like Bouncing Souls and Dead Guy. And I mean, we started doing like real shows, like, and we would have 400 kids, 500 kids, which was insane, you know, man. So, and then, I mean, that's really how we started. So we would get friends with these bands, and then these bands would have us to their scene, you know what I mean, as a return. And it was really organic and really powerful. And we would even do the $5 show, of course, because that's what Father Ian says to do. Or a can of food, right, for the food drive. Like awesome. It was awesome. There was times back then we thought we were going to change the world, and maybe we did in a small way. But, you know, and just like, it was really, really powerful stuff.
Were there bands from Delaware? I mean, this is going to be an ignorant question because I don't really know like the Delaware area. Like,
well, there was a band called Walleye. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them. Do you remember the label Jade Tree? That's okay. That was the label. So maybe you guys. Yeah. I mean, not really. No.
Okay.
I mean, bands that, like, when my friends and I get drunk, we talk about, you know what I mean? Like, oh, remember we saw blah, blah. But yeah, I mean, Not really.
Not really. Okay.
Not really on a like international scale or whatever.
Gotcha. So as you start Boysetsfire and as you start touring,
Yeah.
I'm assuming that the Northeast was kind of the initial circuit, right?
Well, we went down to Florida and back on our first tour.
Okay.
And literally made it back, counting change off the dash to pay the toll on 95 to get home. We're like, we did it. And we actually, have you guys heard of Maximum Rock and Roll? It's like, all right, so there's an old punk scene called Maximum Rock and Roll, and they would put out something called Book Your Own Life. And it was just everybody that did like house shows and DIY shows.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, book your own fucking life. So we would just pick up the phone, start calling them, then send out demo tapes. And our first demo, had a cassette to cassette. Man, I feel like I'm describing the world before time. So we were making demos to sell on the trip to the next show. You know what I mean?
Incredible.
Yeah, we were screening T-shirts in the back of the van to sell.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's really, I'm glad we did this because I haven't really thought about this in forever. But I mean, it was also fun too because, like, a group of your best friends that you fought like hell with, banding together as us against the world, but like it kept getting like we did not blow up overnight. It kept getting incremental. Like we would play Detroit at a very terrifying house called the Hamtramck House, where like they were like, you got to watch out for the wolf spiders. Like, what? Good night. Like, what's happening? And the next time we came, people were singing along to a song called Vehicle, which is like on our first demo or whatever.
Yeah.
So we're like, this is really this is cool. We're connecting with and then toured again. Maybe there's 25 people, like it was very, very slow, but I don't think I'd rather have it any other way because we never got an ego ever, because we're still kind of like the rednecks of hardcore, as we were called, which I thought was great,
Yeah.
It's a funny, good time.
Was there ever a moment where you like, I guess, walked out and it just really hit you that like, oh, we're more than just the band that's playing 25 people shows?
Well, I think, I mean, it's happened kind of like there's different levels. Like I remember we toured. I guess we started touring with the Veil, right? I don't know. Do you guys know the Richmond band of Veil? And was like our idols. Like they were everything to us, and they basically taught us how to be a band. And we started really getting some of their fans as fans, and that's like a stepping stone. We did really well. Then we started touring with Snapcase, and toured with Snapcase a bunch, and like that was amazing, and it just kept growing and growing and growing. And I guess, and I'm probably the first time we ever sold out a show on our own, not in Delaware, was when I was like, fuck, this is awesome. You know what? I think it was San Francisco of all places. There's a club called Bottom of the Hill. And we're in the van. I think my wife's coming in, so the dogs are going to go insane.
Sorry.
Hey, honey. Sorry I didn't answer you. I'm being interviewed. She thought I was asleep because I was
the feds. No.
Hold on one second. So where was? Oh, Bottom of the Hill. We're sitting in the van, and saying hi, honey. And we look out. We have tinted windows, and we look out, and there's a line around the building, and we were like, I wonder who's playing tonight. Like, that's cool. And then it's like, it's for you guys. Like, oh my god. So that's like the first time I was like, this is insane.
That's cool because it's all the way across country.
Yeah, too. Yeah. You can't get further and stay in the U.S. Maybe Alaska. But you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah,
it was awesome.
No, that's really cool.
Yeah, it was really fun.
So okay, so as that's happening, then so this is before After the Eulogy, or is this at?
That was probably on the After the Eulogy tour. Like,
okay,
when it was like we started literally the tour. We started like it was like. It grew as we toured. You know what I mean? Like, so I think it was the first tour we did After the Eulogy with. If I can remember.
So, what is the current like if you guys write a set list, what is the current closer for Boysetsfire?
I guess it depends, but generally it's Rookie.
It is Rookie.
Yeah, it's Rookie. It's so we start with After the Eulogy, play like 32 songs, and then end with Rookie.
So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but when you were writing Rookie, do you remember writing this and being like, this one specifically, this is going to be special? Or at what point? Oh, really? Okay.
Well, I mean, all right, like if you break down that song, it's weird. Like, are you guys musicians?
I can play. I play piano, I play guitar. Like,
okay, so like you break down that song, what is happening? Like, there's an intro that's probably too long, and then like the bridge is out of nowhere. You do one little, it's just strange. You know what I mean? Like, so I hate it. Obviously, it's grown on me. But like I just didn't really get it. The other guys loved it, so obviously I was wrong, right? But I got like the noodle thing.
Yeah,
like, I like that, but like no, I didn't feel that way like I did about ATE. Like but like that's one where the kids caught on before I did. You know what I mean?
Okay.
It's a very accessible song, and I will say that I actually think that Rookie is a very like, it's a format for a lot of what post-hardcore is. You listen to bands like for Funeral for a Friend and stuff like that. They do a lot of stuff that sounds like that, especially like European post-hardcore. You hear a lot of that kind of noodling up front.
No, that's a really good point.
Yeah. So
the Funeral can really freaking play their guitars, dude.
Yeah, Funeral is awesome. We love Funeral as well.
You like them with the new singer?
I like all of their stuff. I'm down for it. We did an episode on them. They have a couple albums right in the middle that just kind of didn't hit, but their last couple were phenomenal.
No, they're monsters and they can play. We actually played in, I'm trying to remember I think they're from Wales, right? They're Welsh. And like they opened a show for us right before they signed, and I was like, you guys are incredible. Fantastic. So we've had a long history with those guys. They're amazing. I love Funeral.
That's cool.
It's so fun like hearing you like mention these bands and be like, oh yeah, they're good dudes. Like it's just like we just like assume like we think we know, and you're like, no, like they're genuinely good dudes. So
no, they really are. And like Matt, even I'm trying to remember, Matt even like married our European tour agent. Like it's such a small little family, you know what I mean? And
that's incredible.
Matt lives in Germany now, I think. So I mean, if I saw him today, we would hang out and have a great time. You know, it's one of those kind of relationships.
The run from a lot of those bands, like you guys in Funeral, from that like 2003 to 2006 was just so cool. Like it was so good. Like Tomorrow Came Today, and that's when what's the Funeral? The Casually Dressed.
Oh my gosh, what an album.
That's such a good album.
Such a good album. We played, I'm trying to remember exactly. We played with Funeral at, I think it was a Reading festival. It's like an outdoor, it was in a tent. It was like it was Funeral, AFI, Thrice, Sick of It All, Boysetsfire, Pennywise. Like it was just like amazing. It was one of those like, and Funeral opened the show and destroyed the place. It was so fun.
Awesome. Yeah. It's like a 12-year-old Kyle's wet dream lineup. That's perfect.
It's perfect. It was so fun, dude, for real.
Okay, so can I ask you, are you a shit talker? Do you
yeah, for sure.
Okay, so you can choose to answer this or you don't have to. It's a 2-part question. Whoa. The first one is, what band, as you were touring, as you kind of established yourself, did you see that you were like, okay, I think that these guys are going to develop into something. They're going to be big, like, and you saw it before it happened. And then part 2, what band were you like, this band is trash, they should never play again, and yet they are on the radio every day you drive to work now?
That's really funny. All right, so the first one, funny, I think before you hopped on, we were talking Salt Lake City, right?
Okay.
And so I told the story of we were playing on Warped Tour, and I do wanders, right? I wander around. Like I can't just hang out back. So I'm wandering around. I see this weird little band where the lead singer had like long stringy hair. They were playing on plywood, like a plywood like deck, right? But they were amazing. And I checked them out. Fantastic. Never heard of them. And that's where I found the Used. So yeah. So and another funny story. Bert and I were hanging out later at a Warped Tour has this thing called the barbecue like band where the band plays, but they have to put on a barbecue. So we're hanging out there. And Bert said that the day the sun went out got him through rehab. So like it was a very cool story. Yeah, and then I mean they did pretty good. So yeah, that's a band that I was like, this band is or I could pick Funeral. Like I was saying, the Funeral like blew me away when I saw them, and they weren't signed yet or anything, and then they got signed, and they were friggin' great. But so the band that's trash. I mean,
listen, I mean, there's like 12 people who listen to this. You're good.
I don't really understand Sleep Token. Really, I don't really understand that. Oh wait, what's the other? I don't understand Turnstile. You guys, I don't get Turnstile. It's like shitty Snapcase with like goofy atmospheric lyrics. Obviously they're enormous and people love them. You guys probably love them, but I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't get it.
I haven't been able to get into Turnstile. We tend to like their other projects. Trapped Under Ice, Angel Dust is not bad.
Yeah.
Turnstile is the one that it doesn't click for me.
Well, it's like riffs that you would throw away, right? Riffs that are like, this is a bad riff. They take that riff, and the drummer seems fine. I don't know. I mean, obviously they're enormous and everybody loves them and they're millionaires. So what the fuck do I know? Sunshine, my wife just said I sounded snobby. I am a little snobby. I deserve it.
That's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Was there one of those bands though in like, let's say the early 2000s that's still today now big?
I don't know. I mean, nothing that comes right to mind. Not really. Yeah. Not that I'd be like, this band was terrible then and is terrible now. No, because I mean, I don't know. We've been really fortunate because we always picked the bands we toured with, right? We were never like the label made us do that. They're like, no, we tour with our friends, or like, or if that's good, So generally, we hung out and got to know and tour with bands that we liked personally, and well, I like them, but there are certain members in the band that are not. No, I'm not going to say it because they're funny. I'll tell you offline. Don't you hate when people in podcasts do that? We'll talk later. I'll tell you all the goss.
Listen, I don't care. I'm the one who's on the podcast now, so I get to hear the story. So,
but generally, like I said, we got along with the bands we toured with, and they were always like decent people. Okay, which is always more important to us, really. Than I don't really care if if you're a good person. That's awesome. I don't care if your band rocks necessarily.
And I'll tell you what, we can see that too as a fan out in the crowd. You know what I mean? We can tell, we know, we can see how bands get along on tour too. You just feel it, you can feel the vibe.
For sure.
For
sure. I've never understood like a band will like just let their label decide they're touring with their management or something. We've always been super, super involved in everything we do. Like I don't even like pretty much self-managed for most of our togetherness, and if it wasn't us doing it, it was our good friend Oizy in Germany. Like that was so I mean, we a long time ago decided to take everything like kind of like fuck it, we're gonna do it our way.
Good. I mean,
awesome.
Hey man,
it worked
out. Yeah. So you brought up Europe a couple times and stuff. I know that me and Trevor have been curious about y'all's success in Europe. How do you guys perceive that? How did that happen?
Right. So After the Eulogy, right, was actually out. It was promoted by this incredibly, trying to remember how to put this. So the guy, I think his name is Gertrude or Geary. Anyway, Geary. Anyway, he was an amazing marketer, promoter. He was the one promoting it for Victory in Europe, and it just blew up. Like that record just blew up. Our next record was put out by Sony in Europe and did even better. And like we're like a mainstream band in Germany. Yeah. It's absolutely bizarre. We have like our own festival, like sells out 5,000 people. Like one of our comeback shows was with Panic at the Disco, who opened for us? So like shit's weird over there. Like, it's very, very weird. And people are like, why do you go to Europe so much? Like, oh well, because it's shit like that, honestly.
Yeah, right.
Like, well, we could be in a van here or a bus there. So
you guys toured and played there a lot, right? Like you guys did a lot out there.
Like tons and tons. And I don't know why, it's a different world there. People take their music very seriously. Hardcore is not a phase, like a lot of people get into hardcore and then they're out of college or whatever, but you'll meet guys in their 50s and their 60s like still doing, putting on shows or like doing whatever. It's just really, it is a lifestyle, right? It's not a fashion style. So, I mean, even bands that are small do better in Europe because, like, I don't know if you guys have ever toured, but you don't get treated very well in the States as like a smaller band. Like in Europe, every little DIY venue has like beds and they get up and they make you crusty bread. Like they just really take care of people. So, I mean, you see a lot of American hardcore bands go over there, like kind of a lot because
it's crazy right now, especially like traveling to Europe is like nonstop, and it's bands who like just came out too.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
They're like 6 months to a year old, and they're like, "Hey, we're coming to Europe," and like they're successful over there. Yeah. But
it's a lot harder to make it in the States for whatever reason.
That's weird. We've talked a lot. We've talked a lot to bands recently, who are kind of bringing back the fast hardcore, punk style, like Time Heist. I'm wearing Time Heist right now. Is one of those bands. And I was sitting there, I was talking to Mark, their vocalist, and Rob, and he handed me one of their vinyls. I was like, "Oh, dude, you don't have to do this. Here's like, let me give you the $20." He's like, "We're on our way to Europe. I'll make it up over there." Like,
it's very true. That's Europe was one of the first places we ever actually came home with money in our pocket after a tour.
Cool.
It was crazy. It was like stunning. Like, woo.
So you guys still do band pictures with the 6 of you? Do you guys still do the 2 bassists, one for Europe, one for home, or?
We do. I mean, I don't know if you guys know, we're kind of pretty much on an extended break now. Like, I don't know what's going to happen, but yeah, so what we did is we have a European bass player, and so like, but we still wanted to play like a shitty little show in Jersey. Not, you know what I mean? Like, but it doesn't really make sense to fly Robert out here, like $3,000. So we got our longtime friend Rakis to play American bass. Or American, actually everywhere but Europe bass. Like he went to Australia with us and all that. So
cool.
Oh, it just we always try to find a way that works, and if it's a little weird, I don't care. So like everybody's in the band, but when Robert can't make it or whatever, Rakis will play, and Rakis will practice here. So it's really kind of unfair. Rakis will do all the hard work and practice, and then Robert will play. He doesn't mind. He's a good guy.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good. That's cool. So
go ahead, Trevor.
No, you're fine.
Oh, that was awkward.
Yeah, it was.
Listen, it happens.
It does.
That's not never mind. We'll take that one offline too.
Yeah.
I like, obviously we talk a lot about After the Eulogy, 25 years, like huge accomplishment, huge album. I'm a big fan also of everything that came after, like, Tomorrow Come Today. Misery Index is like a great album to me. Do you feel like some of this stuff gets
love Misery Index? Actually, one of the best reviews is someone said, "This is a beautiful mess of a record." I'm like, yes, it is. Because we went, so that was after, when was that? Was that after Tomorrow Come Today?
Yeah, like 2006-ish, I think.
So that was after we had got signed to a miserable label, been miserable, like did the big label thing, and then we got an EVR, and we're just like, we're gonna write a record exactly how we want to do it, and that's when we were like, let's have horns in this song or whatever, let's have and we had someone come in and play cello, like, and I mean, to me that's kind of like our what's the word for it, like our Sgt. Pepper, obviously nowhere near as good as that record, but like we worked really hard on that record, and I'm super, super proud of it. It's a great record, I think. Really fun.
I agree. I love
down our
internet.
studio. Like we rented, our good friend who unfortunately is no longer with us had a studio called Clay Creek, and we were just like, we want to book your house for 6 weeks, and we did it. And then, I mean, it was just so fun to do, man. It was so fun.
Do you feel like there's stuff that was maybe a little less? Like, is there stuff off of like Misery Index or Wild Nation Sleeps or these albums that you feel like should have landed better?
Do you mean with people?
Yeah, with people.
I think they're great in the set list.
Yeah, I think they're great.
Here's my honest opinion on that. Am I going to complain that people love After the Eulogy? Most bands don't get that one record, so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
Although I do have fun on the internet when people like, I don't like their new stuff or whatever, and I'll just say, I don't like the new you. So, I mean, I don't even know if you have old stuff. So it's just, I think it's really fun. And I also think it's funny that people feel so, what's the word for it? Open to talking shit online that I really like to confront them and like, oh shit, that's a guitarist in the band.
Okay. So it's funny that you say that because the whole reason that I felt comfortable enough to reach out to you is we did our episode on Boysetsfire 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah.
It was one of the first episodes we ever did because again, as we got started, the influence that you had on us specifically was so big. It was one of the first bands we decided to do. You commented on our post that we had made, and you had said so. I don't even remember. It was something just like, I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy commenting like he knows the band? And then I type in Josh Latshaw. I'm like, oh shoot, it's the guitarist.
Well, I'm glad that happened because that's exactly why I do it, because I think it's funny. Like I think it's hilarious. Awesome. Like I belong to some like 90s hardcore groups or whatever, and whatever. Like I said, if they're like, their new stuff sucks, I think you suck, like, because I think it's hilarious. And no, it doesn't bum me out because let's face it, every band has that record. You know what I mean? Like every band has that record that, they keep doing music, but everybody just, to be honest, like I'm seeing Slayer, right? Next weekend. I only know like 2 records of theirs. Right. They probably had 17 records since fucking South of Heaven,
Right.
And same with Sepultura is playing too. And I know Chaos AD and Roots. I don't know anything else, and they probably had 73. So I'm not, we never got upset about that kind of stuff at all. Like, that's fine. It's nice that they like that record.
So that's good to hear. Let me ask you, you guys hiatus in 2007, come back in roughly 2010. So what happened during that time? Like, why did you guys end, and why did you guys decide to come back?
We've ended so many times. I'm trying to remember which ending that was. I think
this is the official one that like people recognize.
Okay, so like we played the truck. It was our last show. Everyone was crying. We were just really burnt out because it's hard when you make music. We were making it. We were living off it, right? We were like paying bills with it, and like it gets to the point like where we're having a writing session for an hour, and then we'd have a 3-hour band meetings where we discuss, horrible, tedious bullshit that's like really sucks the soul out of any fun project. You know what I mean? So, and also we were really hitting a dry stuff. Like we were getting bigger in Europe and smaller in the States. Like if we had like been okay, like it was just too weird for us. Like, and we wanted to do different stuff. It was like being married, but like there's 5 people involved.
Yeah.
Well, it's, kids are getting older, and so we were just like, let's just stop. And we missed it, and took like a step back. And that's why we say we're never going to break up again, because we look so stupid when we keep coming back. We don't want to be Bane, for God's sakes,
Yeah, seriously.
We saw them last year at Furnace Fest. They still put on a good show. So
yeah, I know. I love those guys too. They're great. And I knew they weren't stopping. Like they kept, oh yeah. I was like, yeah, you'll be back in like fucking 2 years. I know you broke ass will need it. So, but yeah. And then I remember we were like kind of talking, and then we got in that it was like one offer. It was like, remember I said that Panic opened for us?
Yeah.
It was like a big T-Mobile something or other. And we're like, okay, that's worth it. We'll do that. So like we did that. Awesome. We had so much fun. And they were like, but we don't want to be a legacy. Like we have to write new music. Like I'm not like, I love that record, but we have to write new music. So that's when we're doing the other records.
So that's where While a Nation Sleeps comes in.
Yes, thank you. Yeah,
you guys got hit, or you guys got hooked up with Bridge 9.
Yeah,
how did that come together?
Oh man, I don't even remember.
Because that's Pat Flynn, right?
Yeah, I don't remember how. I mean, we had probably played in Boston and been friends with them, and yada yada. And I think we were just looking, and that label has a good reputation, and they're good people, and like we didn't want to shop labels. You know, we didn't give a shit. Give a shit. So we were just like, hey, B9, we put out our new record. Yeah. So it was basically like that. Very easygoing. They're great people.
How was the writing process coming back after this is 7 years removed from Misery Index?
Yeah. I actually remember it being really fun, and it just like really flowed nicely. Like we all had riffs, got together and ripped together. And yeah, and I think I don't it was fun. That's all. I don't have a lot of memories of it, so it couldn't have been that bad.
At least it was positive, right? So
I mean, we've also written together for so long. Like, there's just certain ways that Chad's the other guitarist and I know how to work together and like fill each other's parts out, and like, and we're always really respectful too. Like, we have a rule: don't say no until you try it. Like, so like, what if we do a little stomp here? Don't say no till you try it. All right, we'll try it. And then they're like, okay, that sucked. Let's not do it. Or, okay, that friggin' ruled. We could do that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, I love this album. I think that when we did the episode, I think I said it was one of my top 3 that you guys put out. Like, this one, it came off so well to me. It sounded like a well-needed break, and then like it sounded fun again.
No, yeah, we had a blast for sure. We had a really good time recording it. That's when sorry, I lost my it was a blast to record. See, all my dogs are running around.
All good. But
yeah, and that's when we started like even recording ourselves. Like, Chad got his own studio, so we just sit in his house, you know what I mean? Like after work or stuff. So that was a lot of fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it was rad.
Awesome. So, full circle moment now.
Okay.
You said 53, right?
I am.
You've got a son who's in Yet It Moves.
Yes, sir.
There's an awesome clip of you singing After the Eulogy with them. Yeah. They've covered it.
Yeah.
So it's your son Jonah, and then is it Nat's son Simon?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. So I mean, like, again, your parents were friends, you and Nat are best friends. Like, now it's all the way down. Like, that's incredible.
Life is so strange. Like, makes you almost believe in a higher power, right? Like, it's and they're still. I'm gonna go see them tomorrow night. They're playing in Newark, so they're. It is really weird, but like if you had written it in a movie, people would be like, that's weird. You know what I mean? Because what are the odds that our kids would be into have the same similar music too? Right. You know, like my other kids aren't. I can tell you that. So it's pretty interesting.
Is it
be good?
Is it hard being the dad looking at that? Because like you see all these sports dads that are like, back in my day when I was playing football, coach would put me in or whatever. You know, do you ever get like that with your kid up there watching him play?
Dude, it's exactly the opposite. Like, Jonah learned how to engineer, right? And he actually worked on some of our, I guess, can't remember something we were recording, and he would be like, on the Pro Tools, and be like, can you hear the click? You're running behind. I'm like, motherfucker, 5 full lengths. Don't even 5 full lengths. You'd be like, well, you're a little behind. I don't want to, like, don't fucking lecture me.
Back in my day, we didn't have a click track.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. That's actually, if you listen to After the Eulogy, it was not to a click track. That whole record was not to a click track, and it was to tape, which is really funny.
You know what?
But I remember,
before you continue, there's something much more authentic about late 90s, early 2000s music just because of all that.
Oh no.
Oh no. You there?
Did we lose you?
Yeah.
Hello?
Josh?
Yeah. Yeah. I would agree with you.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
You're back. You scared me. So, but yeah, no, it's just different.
No, 100%. It's like a fizzier sound or something. I don't know, but I know what you mean. Like listen to old Quicksand records or whatever. You know, there's a lot of records I'll put on now that I'm like, this sounds different than what I remember it sounding. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just. But how he got it, I remember he's like 14 or 15, and we practiced in my basement, and there's like Mesa, you know what I mean? Mesa stacks and like Gibson guitars. And I'm like, son, when I was your age, if that was in my basement, like I wouldn't leave it. You know, he's like, maybe I should play guitar. And then he picked up guitar. I'm like, this is fun. I'm like, fuck you, man. I worked so hard to play guitar. Like, this is neat. This is fun. Thank you. And I'm like, oh, whatever.
What's that thing that there's like this theory that you can pass down skills through your genes?
Oh yeah,
like
the genes or whatever. Yeah.
So listen, you can just tell him, be like, that was my hard work. You don't deserve it.
Well, the funny thing is that Simon plays guitar and Jonah sings. So like
that's
flip.
True.
And it's interesting world, right?
Yeah,
it's true.
Yeah,
that's incredible. So no, for full circle moment. That's awesome that you guys get to experience that.
Yeah, it's really fun. I'll probably sing with them tomorrow night. We'll see. We'll see how many beers I have. Let's just say that.
Awesome.
Do you guys just as an aside, you can cut this. So like Salt Lake was always known for having hardcore crews, straight edge crews. Was that something that you guys experienced?
Yes.
Because I remember, I think it was Monster Crew. I don't remember. What were some of the, like, I remember Salt Lake being pretty friggin' scary back in the day. Was that before your time?
No, we were in there. I mean, like the big crew back in our day, right before our day was Grudge City. Grudge City was the one that was the late 90s, early 2000s.
Okay.
That I think that when you say Salt Lake City was scary,
there
was some notoriety there.
Okay.
We definitely had crews around us and stuff like that. Yeah. We had a weird like little friend pocket that we kind of got along with most everyone. Okay. Like we didn't necessarily kind of bounce around. But we definitely we saw what happens.
Squabble up.
Yeah, we saw what happens. So we were able to catch you guys in like 2006.
Okay.
And so one of the things you mentioned earlier is that you guys got to pick the bands that you guys took on tour. Yeah. You took on tour. Do you remember Versus the Mirror and the Fully Down?
Absolutely. 100%, dude. We still talk about them.
That's such a good album.
Holy cow. It's so good. Yeah.
So what was it about like those two bands, if you remember, that
you're really pressing it there?
I'm pushing it. Because like, listen, I think when we talked about this on the episode, I'll be fully honest. I listened to you guys in like 2000. So Kyle was my introduction into hardcore.
Okay.
We would go into his basement. His older brother handed him albums like After the Eulogy, handed him albums like AFI, Black Sails, and stuff like that. And we would just listen to all of this stuff.
Yeah.
By 2006, we were finding bands, right? Sure, so Versus the Mirror and the Fully Down were bands that we had found. And
really?
In all honesty, I was at that show for Versus the Mirror.
Okay.
Like, I'll just say it.
He was.
That album, that band is great.
Yeah.
It's great. Like,
that album Home is so good.
Yeah. You know what? I'm glad you brought that. I'm going to listen to them again because I need to refresh. But yeah, I remember loving watching them play. 100%.
Yeah.
Now, I think they were on EVR. So they may have been like a band. They were like, what do you think of these guys? And we were like, yeah. Okay. So maybe you didn't know them before. They were EVR, right? So
yeah, they are.
But so like EVR would send us the record or whatever. And I remember liking it. So they weren't necessarily our friends, but like we didn't pick them because of their draw or whatever, like that. You know what I mean? We're like, we dig it, and they sound like good dudes.
Yeah, awesome. Okay, yeah. So there was some level of like label. Yeah. Okay, I gotcha.
For sure. I mean, but we always had the final a final say. You know what I'm saying?
No, incredible. Yeah, I gotcha.
So I brings up a question, and look, like we said, I'm not going to shy away from the fanboy stuff. I was there to see Boysetsfire.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thank you. And that's why I don't give snarky comments on your posts, sir.
Good.
It was a snarky comment. It was
you know what?
Comment, and it made me excited, Josh.
Okay, I thought maybe I was being shitty or something. So.
No, I would have followed up with you, man. I take offense to that stuff. I have my feelings hurt.
I'm just messing around.
I did want to ask though, was it like, because when we did the episode, like, have you watched Parks and Rec, the TV show?
I love it. I love it.
Towards the end of the like series, there's a part where Ron Swanson says he looks around and he's like, I didn't recognize anyone that was there, and that's why he left, right?
Yeah.
Did you guys ever get that feeling when you're kind of like this time, 2006, you've been around for a long time, you're playing with a lot of these like really younger bands. Did you ever look around and be like, I don't like recognize the bands, the people in the crowd aren't coming for us? Like, did you ever get to that point? Like, I don't know.
I mean, maybe I don't, nothing that jumps out to me right now, because I mean, I feel like we always, like, we had been touring so much that like we would have the same kind of little core of friends come see us, like in every city. You create friendships, like relationships, where you go to dinner or whatever. So I mean, no, not really. Like, it always felt pretty natural, and maybe that's maybe what you're saying there is why we broke up the first time. You know, it like maybe that's it, just like a little bit of burnout and like, you know, because scenes do change, music change, tastes change. Like, I'll be honest, like I don't really like a lot of the modern hardcore. Like, I don't like Kubla Khan at all.
Right.
Like, nothing about that. Like, I don't give a shit. Like, anyone can. I don't care at all. Like, I don't like what Jonah's age group calls hardcore. I think sucks, and it is like a Kubla Khan. Like, I like Knock Loose, but maybe that kind of world. You know what I mean? Like, Knock Loose is one of the good ones, in my opinion. Who I'm also seeing next Saturday. By the way,
we say so that they're beatdown bands, right?
Okay.
We say everyone has their beatdown band.
Yeah,
we don't like them all, but everyone has their beatdown band.
Like when you adopt, you're like, this is mine.
Yeah. This is the one that I claim.
Yeah. But yeah, like the Kubla Khan thing, I don't get it at all. So
yeah, it's gym music.
Yeah, that's true.
It's
brocore.
Listen, I get down to some Kubla Khan. We did an episode on them. I'm okay with them, but it gets repetitive.
Texas. It's Kubla Khan, Texas, isn't it? So you're in Dallas, right?
That's Kyle.
Yeah, but I don't. I'm actually not a Kubla Khan fan, though.
Okay.
So.
All right.
You guys are both just wusses.
Yeah, we're not hard enough, man. We're not hard enough.
Yeah, you guys know what hardcore is. Come on.
Yeah, you're telling the guy that like was there. Like, what's the Chronicles of Narnia? Like, don't speak that witchcraft to me. I was there when it was made. Like, you're gonna tell this dude? Like,
you have the most amazing. So you referenced C.S. Lewis, Parks and Rec. Like, this is incredible. It's so fun. I was just talking about Narnia with my mom too. That's really funny. And I was talking Parks and Rec with my daughter. So that's really funny.
There you go.
It's like you've been listening to me.
It was meant to be. I have. Yeah. But you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm in Texas, Delaware. But yeah, no, I'm just joking.
Bitch, I'm from Texas. I'm listening to that song all day too. You know this song? Bitch, I'm from Texas. Never mind. Are you a Cowboys fan or do you hate football?
I'm not a huge football fan, and like, to be honest, like, Cowboys fans can be a little insufferable. So I did jump on the bandwagon for like the Mavericks, at least until they traded Luka, and then it was
can you believe that? What a heartbreaking. Okay. But
yeah, and then they rigged the draft and got Cooper Flag. So I don't know.
How did they do that?
It was rigged, absolutely.
You put an envelope in the freezer, and
the frozen envelope.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, it's deep lore right there, man.
Yeah.
Right. So, well, seriously, like, Boysetsfire was absolutely massive for us. What you guys accomplished and what you, I mean, like you said, you're currently on a little bit of a hiatus, but I'm sure at some point you'll play again. And what you guys have continued to do is absolutely phenomenal. Did you ever think something like After the Eulogy could be as applicable when you wrote it to what's currently happening today?
25 years later.
I mean, unfortunately, no. I couldn't have. I mean, no, I never thought it. I mean, I had hoped that things would get better, not drastically worse.
Yeah,
makes me think like, I almost feel like we owe Bush an apology about like, bro. I'm so
isn't
sorry.
that a weird thing to say?
Yeah. No, I'll say that. And people are like, fucker was still a war criminal. I'm like, okay. But still, like, I'm sorry, Mitt Romney, you actually seem human in retrospect. You know what I mean? Like, we had no idea how good the fascist lights were,
Yeah.
classic fascists or whatever, compared to this group. It was terrible.
It's just wild. And having something like After the Eulogy, having something like Boysetsfire as a whole, it really is important, especially to us, the hardcore community and things like that. So listen, again, we're fans, fanboying over here. Like,
I love it.
Like, seriously appreciate you and everything you guys have done.
Awesome.
But Kyle, do you have anything else? Any other questions?
No. Nope.
Come on, dude. One more dope reference.
Well, okay, fine. No, we can reference.
There's got to be
George Bush dodging that shoe. Is that a good enough reference? George Bush when he dodges that shoe getting thrown at him.
That's a good way to close it.
Or you know what the best George Bush clip is where he's like, we will not give in to terrorists and all this stuff. Now watch me hit this drive, and he turns and he's on the golf course. That's the best George Bush clip.
It is kind of badass, I mean, to be honest, like in retrospect, like I bet you George Bush is pretty fun to party with. You know what I'm saying?
Probably.
Like someone said.
Did George you see Bush, his eyes at the Trump inauguration?
Yeah,
he was lit. Like, he was doing something.
Someone said that, like, he's like, this is a weird compliment, but like George Bush is one of those guys you give money for an 8-ball and they actually bring you an 8-ball back. Maybe they did a bump or two, but not too much. Like, that's a good way to put it.
He's probably partying with the Bidens, so
Yeah.
It goes. We're bipartisan here. It goes across the aisle right there.
Yep,
so,
for sure.
But no, for real, we seriously appreciate it. This was awesome. You make it out to Texas, you make it out to Utah. You got some new people to go to dinner with.
That sounds great, guys. I appreciate you both. That was really fun.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
Well, thank you. Right. We will get this posted, and we'll catch you later.
All right, sounds good.
Bye.
But I just